Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer. Welcome back to European Truck Simulator 2, and welcome to Murmansk, Russia. So, let me show you the truck in daylight. I tried to show it to you a little bit when we were leaving our drop-off last episode. Don't know if you could really see it that well with the fence and everything, but yeah, it's the RJL Scania. It's got some P8 customs parts on it. It's got some big T parts. I love this truck, man. I really do. I really do. And I try to keep my builds kind of simple. I don't like to fill every single slot with a light, you know? Try to keep it classy. Classy like you do. Right, let's get it fired up. And let's, I'm going to leave this turned on because we don't have sat-nav in the dash. Let's find a job. Let's find a job heading south. But not too far south. Right. Tornio. Is it this one? 4 hours. Yep. Okay, that's the one I picked before I went to sleep. Okay, fair enough. Acetylene to Tornio. And the reason we're doing that is there's no... we'd have to go through Tornio either way, and all the other jobs that go further south go much further south. So, I have started to record this video. I've tried to record this video probably 7 times. And I continue to be attacked by traffic in Murmansk. It is my belief, I could be wrong, but it is my belief that the traffic in Russia is much more aggressive and reckless than in other parts of the map. I don't know if that's true, or if I'm only imagining it. And even if it is true, I don't know, I mean, is that something the developers can code in? I would assume that they can, because they make traffic go different speeds in different speed limit areas, right? But I swear to God, I've seen cars do things. I mean, I've just been hit, you know, well into an intersection, and it's not. I mean, I know we take chances in truck sim that we might not take in real life because we wouldn't want to cause an accident. We wouldn't want to get our license suspended, but we don't take crazy chances, right? We still try to drive carefully. At least I do. And despite the fact that I do drive somewhat carefully, I was still having, it's hard to describe. Cars just doing unbelievably aggressive things, and I don't know if it's coincidence, I don't know if I'm imagining it, I don't know, but I have been attacked by cars in ways that I'm just not. I feel like I'm just not having those problems in other parts of the map. So I'm being so careful right now because I just want to get out of this city without taking damage. Whew. And I won't tell you all the ways that it's happened. And I really, like I said, I don't think I'm imagining it. I hope I'm not. But it's been frustrating. Been frustrating. But we're going to do this. As many tries as it takes, we're going to do this. And if it happens again, then we'll keep the video, but hopefully you can, like, send me some forensic analysis of whatever shenanigans and deviltry you observe. Because I swear, man, they are more aggressive. Now, if they are, and if ProMods did put that in, are they insulting Russian drivers, like you're bad drivers, or is it an homage? Are they saying, you're awesome, you drive like lunatics? You know what I'm saying? Could be either one. Could be either one, but I really feel like I'm seeing it. Could be wrong, but I feel like I'm seeing it. Right. So make a left turn in here. Nice gap. Nice gap. Nope. Nope. I don't trust anybody right now. Yeah, see, they're not stopping. What? Am I not in the turning lane? Jesus. Okay. Okay. Concentrate. I'm gonna make this happen. Okay. I just want to get out of this city. So what is going on? Monday for you, Sunday for me, it's going to be a lazy Sunday. Baseball season has just started. The Yankees are 1-1, which means they need to start trading players and fire the manager. I kid. Yankees fans, particularly Yankees fans from New York City, although there are Yankees fans all over the world, me being one of them. Yankees fans are notoriously impatient and demanding. So no, of course you wouldn't fire players when the team is 1-1, but they do start to talk. Right. We're taking this. I'm just going to leave it as is. We could experiment with different trailers, but they take so long to load because we have the cast packs. They take so long to load. It's just not worth it. So we'll just take what they give us. Not a problem. Not a problem. And like I said, we'd have to go through Tornio to get south down into Finland and the Baltics anyway. So let's just head that way. There were some longer jobs. There were like, 1,000 kilometers, 1,600 kilometers. That we would take 2 or 3 or maybe even 4 episodes to do it. I didn't feel like doing that, so we'll just go with what we got. Go with what we got. Right. Let's get backed up here. Cut it. Cut it. Not that far. Not that far. Cut it. There we go. Let's get hooked up. Take a look at what we got. Right. Okay. Just a tank of acetylene. On a flatbed trailer. That's fantastic. And lift axle is up. Lift axle is down. So we want that one down. We want the other one up. Yes, we do. Right. Here we go. 576 kilometers. We might make it in one episode. We might not. We'll see how close we are. We just slept. We do need to get fuel. But we should be okay. Mostly I just want to get out of this town. I really do. It has been, And that's another thing that I have like such respect for YouTubers. I'm watching a guy named the Rad Brad play Sekiro, and that game, from everything that I've heard, it's an amazing game. It's gorgeous, but it is extremely difficult. It is like Cuphead difficult, and one of the things about the Rad Brad that I really like is he's always super, super positive, and I like that in YouTubers. Something that I have discovered since I've been making YouTube videos is you're not always up, but if you're owing a video, if there's a video due, you got to get yourself up. Have yourself some Red Bull, son. Make it happen. And when I hear YouTubers that are always positive and always happy, for lack of a better word, always positive and in a good mood and, just bringing it. Having done this now, I have kind of a new respect for them because you're not always up. You're not always in a good mood. But the show must go on, as they say. So I had to shake it off, and we're going to make this happen. So what's going on? What's going on in gaming world? I saw WRC 8 is set to drop in a few months. Looking forward to that. Now, an observation that I have made about WRC 7. WRC 7 is the official game of WRC, FIA, etc. And it's pretty cartoony. Physics aren't super realistic. Graphics, I have to say, are a little disappointing. They're good. They're good. If you had never seen Dirt 4 or Dirt Rally, the graphics in... Where are we going up here? We're going straight. Yes, we are. If you had never seen Dirt 4 or Dirt Rally, or now Dirt Rally 2.0, if you had never seen those sims, you would think, I would think, that the graphics in WRC 7 are fine. No problem. It's a good looking game. It's a fun game for sure. But when you compare it to those other two, both graphically and physically, gameplay, it doesn't really compare. It's kind of an arcade game. It's a really good arcade game. It's a really fun arcade game, and it does have now it's got the full calendar, but it only has a few cars. It's got a bunch of teams, but it only has a few cars. And I'm guessing that's because it's official. It's real. Whereas, something like Dirt Rally, you've got historical cars, you've got sort of not fantasy cars, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. So I've always wondered about that because FIA and FOM also do the F1 franchise via Codemasters. Now, the WRC franchise is KT Racing is the developer, and then Big Ben is the publisher. Whereas F1 is Codemasters. The F1 franchise is Codemasters. And the F1 franchise is very, very challenging. It's pretty tricky. I had to crank the AI way down when I was learning that game. Like way down, embarrassingly low. And I'm a pretty decent fake race car driver. But I still had to really dial it back. Can't see past my mirror. Are we okay? We're okay. Concentrating. I just want to get out of this city, man. I just want to get out of this city in one piece. So very challenging. And my speculation, I don't know this, but my speculation about WRC is it's maybe more of a fun game for kids. And so they're trying to bridge the gap and make a good-looking kind of pseudo-sim, maybe? Is that a good word for it? That sim players and sim drivers can enjoy, but also make the game that's fun and accessible for kids because they're growing their brand. You know, something like the F1 franchise, I don't imagine a kid playing that game. And kids make up a big part of the gaming market. Less and less every year, as people like me are getting older and continuing to game, but you know what I mean. And then I thought, well, does does F1 and FOM, do they not want to grow their brand? Yeah, they do, but it's a different market. You know, throwing cars around in the dirt, that's something that anybody can enjoy, whereas F1, driving an F1 car, that's kind of a committing process. That's not something that I think every gamer wants. This is total speculation on my part, by the way. I have no idea if this is accurate or not. I'm just guessing that the reason WRC 7 is sort of fun and cartoony is that WRC wants to grow its brand. So all of that, somewhat long-winded explanation, is to say that WRC 8 looks like they've moved away from that. Graphics look significantly better, although you never can tell. There's a big difference between a trailer. You know, even when it says actual gameplay, you don't really know. You don't really know. Trust me, I'm in marketing. We lie all the time. We call it marketing. So it looks good, and the claims are that the physics will be better and more accurate, and it looks like they're going to add a bunch more circuits, which is amazing because it already has so many. But so it goes. So it goes. So we'll see. That's going to be out in a few months, and I'll get it. You know, I definitely will. I feel like I'm on the. Here we go. Okay, that's the sort of thing that those are the ones that get me. That's who's been getting me. So I feel like there are several trains that I'm on right now. One is F1. Any new F1 game via Codemasters that is released, I'll get. Any dirt game that is released, I'll get. Any WRC game that is released, I will get. I'm trying to think who else does an annual. Any MotoGP that is released, I will get. I'm on board now. Off topic? Well, no, not really. Not off topic at all. Just sort of tangential. I would like to see a feature because of Steam and what Steam is. I would love to see a feature that any franchise game that you own, so something like WRC, any franchise game that you own gets you a 10% or a 20% discount when the next one is released. You know, like a subscriber's discount, almost. You know what I mean? If you own whatever, then when the next one comes out, you get a discount because you're already a customer of that franchise. And so, of course, you're going to want to continue playing it. Of course you are. So, I don't know. I think that'd be a nice little loyalty thing to do. Always wondered that about Madden. Because Madden is expensive, and you know there's going to be a new one every year. There's been a new one every year for, like, what, 25 years? Yeah, man. So you see what I'm saying. So that's the only new game at the moment that is on the horizon, as far as, you know, since last week, since the last time we talked. So, other than that, kind of a holding pattern, waiting for a lot of Sims to be released. Still no word about the Washington DLC for ATS, I did see a big blog post from the ProMods team. And apparently 2.4, I mean, I don't know how ProMods is not like a software company. They look like a software company. They release a great product. They have communication like a software company, like a software developer, a game developer. I mean, they have all the earmarks. They certainly seem in every way like a developer, and yet they give the product away. And you know, there's nothing free in this life, so I really do wonder, like, who is paying for ProMods? Because I pay the €1 to download it when it is released. I don't know how many people do that, but even if it's, you know, 100,000, that's still 100,000 euro. It sounds like a lot of money unless you have, you know, 30 people working on a project. What, they're all volunteers? I don't know, man. I feel like somebody's getting paid, and I don't mind that. That doesn't bother me. I just wonder who's getting paid and how, because I don't know, man. I've seen companies that sell software that are less professional and less organized than ProMods. And ProMods is a free mod. I don't know, man. I don't know. So 2.4 is coming, but there were some notes in that big blog post about, you know, how they do what they do, and SCS is evolving as a software developer. ETS2 is evolving as a game, and ProMods is evolving as a mod content developer. So, you know, as SCS evolves, ProMods is having to evolve along with it. So it's very cool. It's a cool process. What would I pay for ProMods? I would easily pay $20 a year. I mean, as it is now, they release, I don't know, 3 times a year, 4 times a year, and it's €1 a piece. So we're already at €3 a year. You know, would I go triple that? €10 a year. Yeah, of course I would. Of course I would. 20? Yeah, no problem. 30? I'd start to notice. Now, I don't have kids, and I'm not married, so that amount of money per year it's not in and of itself a big hit. But what you got to remember is, if you're paying, you know, $20 a year, I'm just going to switch over to dollars because it's easier for me to remember, but euro, close enough. If you're paying $20 a year for something, you're probably paying $20 a year for a lot of things. So when I say $20 a year for ProMods, you know, that's on top of all the other games that I spend money on, and keeping hardware and software and other things updated, and you know what I mean? So I guess when I say $20 a year for ProMods, I'm talking about like as a component of a bigger gaming whatever, you know? So, because it's not like you're going to spend $20 a year on ProMods and then nothing else, right? Like that's your only gaming expense. It's like, you know, coffee and eating out. I spend probably $1,000 a year on coffee, which sounds like an outrageous amount, but a cup of coffee is $2 or $3. I drink at least 1 cup of coffee or 1 Monster or 1 Red Bull per day, and that's $3. 3 times 365, you're at $1,000, at least $1,000. And that's a big number when you think about it over the course of a lifetime. You're talking about, you know, $30,000, $40,000 of coffee. Jesus. And it's like, yeah, man, but it's a couple bucks at a time, and it's, you know, you spend money on things as you travel through life. If you look at the big picture, yeah, of course it's a terrifying number. But so it goes. So it goes. But if you're the kind of person that spends $1,000 a year on coffee, you probably like to eat out, as I do. Well, that adds up. You probably like to have a glass of wine. I do. That adds up. So it's not just coffee. It's not like a person that spends that kind of money on coffee every year is living on like canned beans for every meal. So I think some things represent a component of a lifestyle. And so if you're going to spend X for that one component, keep in mind that when you combine it with all the other components, now you're spending like 10X. So I guess what I'm saying is if you would spend that for ProMods, you're probably buying a lot of other stuff for gaming as well. And that's why you need to put a cap on it. Or at least why I need to put a cap on it. Because if I don't cap all the individual components, they add up to be too much. So you know, if ProMods was like a $50 a year subscription service, $50 a year, I would pay it, but that would be like, my expectations would be really high, and they better give me something really good for that amount of money, because that's getting into, like, not real money, but you know what I'm saying? Expectations. So I don't know if they'll ever go that route, but they certainly could. You know, I know a lot of people that won't play without it. And in its own way, it's as big as or bigger than the game. And SCS releases, you know, probably $50 a year of DLC, and we gobble it up. So we'll see. We'll see. But for now, it's everything's stable and solid with 2.33, and we'll see what happens with 2.4. No release date, and they specifically say that in the blog post. They say we don't know, we don't have a release date yet. Nobody knows when it's going to be released, including us. So that's ProMods. What else? I've been looking at. Oh man, I've been looking at Fanatec. I've been trying to figure out if I want to build a full race rig. There's no way to make it portable. There's a portable racing chair. I've heard good and bad about it. I've heard some people say, you know, for what it is, it's about as much as you can expect. And the flip side of that is not much. You know, it's flexible. The whole point of a gaming chair is it's very rigid and comfortable for long periods of time. And everything I hear about that, there's only one, so you know the one I'm talking about. But everything I hear about it is it's not very rigid at all, and it's not very comfortable for long races. So we'll see. Now, if I got that, I would probably keep my Thrustmaster rig. I've got kind of a consumer level Thrustmaster, and I know Fanatec they're also consumer level, most definitely. I think they're, you know, when you're talking about spending $25,000 or $30,000 for a gaming rig, a racing rig, that to me is getting up into semi-pro or pro. So I think from that perspective, I think the most you can spend, if you top everything out in the bundle builder on the Fanatec website, I think you're talking about, you know, $2,000 US for their, they've got is it a 28 Newton meter motor? The wheels are, you know, $400, $500, and pedals are like 300. So yeah, about $2,000. About $2,000 you'd spend, which is a ridiculous amount of money to spend on video gaming. But in the context of, you know, 25,000, it's really not that much. So we'll say that Fanatec is the highest end of the consumer spectrum, and I've been checking out their stuff, and I used that as an example because I did put together a bundle, and it was $2,000. I like the look of it. There are some F1 wheels. I mean, I'm going to be racing GT. I like the options and the controls, and frankly the look of the F1 wheels more than I like the GT wheels. The GT wheels, they don't have a lot of rotary switches, which I prefer, and the GT wheels have, I don't know, they look like Thrustmaster or Logitech. And I think at that price point, I expect a little bit more. You know, I expect a slightly different look. I don't expect something that looks like it could come bundled with a PlayStation. The F1 wheels look more legit, and the GT wheels from Fanatec look a little bit like toys. There's one that has like the great big Xbox button. You know, that's pulling me out of the immersion, yo. So, oh, there goes my voice. How'd we do? 24 minutes. Right. So, so when you get into aftermarket, now you can't use the Fanatec motor because it's got its own proprietary connection system. Kind of they call it wireless. I suppose technically it is wireless because most aftermarket wheels have a curly cable that goes into either USB, or sometimes it's an angled connector, multi-pin connector that goes into a converter box, various other things. But there is a curly wire that wraps around, and that's how you get your signal. And Fanatec has done away with all that. There's actually a plug on the, like the steering shaft, on the coupler, the joint. There's a fuel stop right there. Pull in there, get some fuel. There is a multi-pin connector in that joint, and as you fit the wheel to the base, it makes that connection, and there's no additional wires, and there's no external wires. So that's nobody else is making that system, and that system is made by nobody else. So if you have a Fanatec base, you're going to have a Fanatec wheel. There may be a converter, but I'm not aware of it. So that is a consideration also, because there are some beautiful aftermarket wheels. Now they're $2,000 to $3,000 a piece, and you have to get a proprietary motor to use with them. Looking for a fuel stop here. Oh, bumpy roads. Bumpy roads in Russia. Are we going around behind? Where are we going here? No, we're going... Interesting. Interesting. I don't want to go back there. I want to go in here. Where is the... There it is. Oh, dear. Okay. That is... Oh, game. I love you. Let's get off the road here. Try to. How are we going to do this? Let's do this. Our camera is bouncing up and down on that wire. I apologize. Let's get backed up a little bit. So essentially what I'm saying is, if I got the wheel that I wanted, not only would I spend a ton more to get that wheel, but then I'd have to get a different motor and a different base. And suddenly we go from 2,000 to 7,000 or 8,000. And that is just... That ain't happening. Not right now. Time and a place, and this is not the time and the place to be spending that kind of money on that kind of hardware. Right. Okay, so we're off the road, and even though we're not going to sleep, I did not want to stop the episode with us poking out on the road and then pick it up last week. Pick it up next week as though nothing had happened. Right. Parking lights on, engine off. Set the brake. Let's fuel up. How are we doing on time? 28 minutes, that's perfect. So we'll start again from here next week and keep making our way south to Tornio. And then from there we'll head south down into the Baltics. And I think this could be our thumbnail. Yeah. Let's get rid of that. How's that? Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Wait till this truck comes in, folks. Thanks for stopping back to check out The Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of European Truck Simulator 2. We'll see you next time. Take care now.